Good afternoon. Welcome to Profit Lifter Live. I am your host, Keith, and today we're going to be doing an Ask Me Anything. We are going to be covering some topics and questions that I have gotten in from people while we've been working. um, and so today we are going to be this is going to be a live Ask Me Anything, meaning if you have questions, you can hop in here and ask them. Let me know how I can help you out. And as you're joining me, give me a hi. Let me know what's going on. I've got a couple requests that I've had throughout the week that I'm going to go ahead and start asking and start working on. One quick thing that I want to address: I did see that we had some issue with links and emails not working for some of the snapshots that you guys have, especially like Credit Suite partners. We are working on that now, and we'll make sure we get that resolved and get that pushed out to you guys so that everything is working the way it's supposed to be. Plus, some exciting announcements for those of you guys in the Credit Suite world. We are rocking and rolling on updating our um, snapshot. You guys have all new websites coming out, all new email templates, all sorts of cool stuff for the launch of fundability for the partners. So cool stuff happening on a lot of fronts. A lot of cool changes that we're getting ready to launch and implement for you guys as well. So I'm excited to be helping you guys out and working with you. So first off, we are going to. I had this question come up yesterday, and I told our longtime resident James that I would answer this question for him and give a walkthrough on this process. But the question was actually about we were talking about what was it? We were talking about building a landing page and building a page for a video sales letter. And so I'm going to walk you guys. I'm going to walk you guys through the process of what it looks like creating like a landing page, creating all that fun stuff that goes along with it. So that way you guys can know how to do this yourself. So let me share my screen and let's get rocking and rolling. So I'm just going to do this from scratch. I'm going to show you guys the process. If I was coming up with if someone said, "Hey Keith, I need a video sales letter," here's how I would build it. So the first thing we're going to do is the video sales letter is going to end up as a funnel. So we're going to create a new funnel here. Now, I'm a designer. I'm pretty good at starting from scratch and coming up with designs. But let's say I'm crunched for time and I need to find something quick, efficient, and just jump in and handle it. So I'm going to come over here to the templates, and we're going to just start exploring some of the options that are here. So let's take a look. Now, I've said this before, and I think it bears repeating that while you're going through this process of designing a website, if you're ever like, if it's a full website, whether it's funnel, no matter what it is, like as you get going with it, the first thing that you want that you need to keep in mind is that it's not about the content that's on the page, because the content's going to be very specific to you. What you're looking for is does the page, does the layout, does the design fit for the function of what you want to do. So that's always my approach to it. Is I look for function first, and I look for making sure everything's laid out that like I can look at it and go, okay, I can put a video here, the content will go here. I like how this is laid out. So a lot of that will actually already be here, will be in place as we're putting this together. So we're gonna scroll through some designs here. We're gonna take a look, pull up a sneak peek. I like that 3 sections, that button. It's kind of ugly. Not a huge fan. There's a pop up. Let's see. Okay. Video sales letter landing page. This one, again, this is going to actually be a pretty short section. So something like this would work, but I think I want something with just a little bit more umph behind it. So I'm going to go over here to lead capture. I'm going to see what we have under the lead capture, because these sometimes give us a little bit better examples. So All right, let's see. This one looks pretty good. Book an appointment. Got the 3 pictures. Got the stuff under there. It's kind of a cool image layout there. Testimonials. Yeah, let's go with this. I'm down with this. I can make this work. Now, the thing that you'll figure out is as you get in, you start designing pages, you start working on all this. The process is actually fairly easy to when you know what you're putting in first, it goes a long way with streamlining the process for what you're building. So like for this, I already know what I want to do with it. So it's not like I'm having to come in and guess. So first thing is we do want, I am going to want to have all of our logos and everything across the top there. I like having the social media links on the landing page. That way, if they don't take action, you may still be able to grab them as a follower for on your social media channels, giving you a better chance to stay engaged. Video sales letter, the process for this is actually pretty simple. Really what we want is we want a headline that's going to engage them, that's going to draw them in to watch the video. So what's the value that we're going to provide with that? I like having a sub headline under here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because this should really only be like one line that goes under there. And then from here, we're going to say video. So we're going to drag and drop our video to go right in here. Now, with the videos, you're going to have several options of where you can choose these from. You could choose a YouTube video, a Vimeo video, Wistia, a custom embed, HTML5, or a hosted video. All these are platforms except for these last 3. The hosted videos are going to be the ones that you'll upload the video right into your Profit Lifter account, and and then it will take it and go with it from there. So let me just show you what that process looks like, because if you have the opportunity, so like let's say you record a video and you have it on your computer, you always want to try to self-host it first. The reason that you want to do that is in your automation settings, you're going to be able to determine what happens with the lead after they've watched a video. So you can go in and define, hey, if somebody watches 50% of this video, then we're going to categorize them as a hot lead, and we're going to move them into our sales pipeline, start this sequence, and have it go off and do what it needs to do. So from here, you're going to select file, and I have some of these that I just happen to upload for a background. So we're just going to grab one of these, and it might take 30 seconds. Cool. And the video's there now. Oh, James can't hear me. Is your volume turned up? Give me 1 second. It's showing that I am getting output from, it's showing that my mic is giving me output. If anyone else on here, can you guys hear me okay? Any issues with not being able to hear me? All right. So Brett says he can hear me. So yeah, James, not sure. It sounds like it may be something on your side happening with that. All right, so now that we're in here, all right, let's go back here. So we've got our video file here that's added. Now, with these hosted videos, it's not going to show anything. So like if we click our preview button up top here, it's going to save it, let it open it up over here. And now you see it's going to auto play it. It shows up there. So I'm going to turn for a video sales letter. I do like the autoplay for a video sales letter. The reason is because then as soon as someone shows, they're getting a, hey, this is Keith with Profit Lifter. Welcome to blah, blah, blah. And you just go right into the pitch. So I think having the autoplay on for a video sales letter makes a lot of sense, because they're going there to watch a video. Like that's the whole purpose of it. Like you're marketing to them going, hey, watch this video. Let me show you what we can do. But the other side of that is I do still want to have a thumbnail that we can upload. So if you have a video thumbnail that you can put on there, that's great. Oh, this is one that I cropped. That's why it looks a little long ways. But the other side is if you don't have one, the way that you would go about that is, let me show you here. Here's how I go about it. If I don't have a thumbnail, I would come up here and go, okay, let's see if we can pause this. And then from here, I would just snip the video. So like if you're using Windows, it's called your snipping tool. And just come over here, highlight the entire page, your entire screen. It doesn't, and keep it really simple, and then save it. And now I have my screenshot. I don't know why it's giving that the same name, but that's all right. It is what it is. So now I've got this where I can come in here. And again, this is an example. I'm moving through this quick. I'm not spending a lot of time on that side. But then you would just come in and basically grab your image. I just grabbed a different one because I didn't want to look for it. I'm being lazy there. So now when it's just sitting there, it's going to have that image. And the beauty of it is, well, let me just show you. If you take off the autoplay, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to show you this. And so it'll pull in the image, and then it has your little play button right there. So people know it's a video, which I love. I think that's awesome. Hey, Timberly, you are the queen of the world today. Glad you can make it with us. Hope you're having an amazing day. Hope things are rocking and rolling for you. I'm super excited about the news that you shared with me that you wouldn't share with anyone else. So I'm going to make all of them jealous and let them know that you are going to absolutely decimate them for the month of May's challenge. So, all right. So video sales letter. So now we've got our video. You got your title. So when you're coming up with your content title, you're not trying to get like your title for like a video sales letter or something that you're trying to push them to an asset. It shouldn't be about get started today, sign up now. It's a watch this video. And so instead of you trying to convince them to sign up, you're really taking this content and pushing them down into the action. Sorry in advance, but you're really pushing them down into the funnel, pushing them down to take action on the website and move through this. So what I would do is the first thing I want to do in my title is I want to point out the pain point or the problem that I'm going to solve. So we're going to use an example for this one. Let's say this is going to be struggling to fund your growth. And then down here, I'm going to put the call to action of watch this video, discover everything you need to get funding. And then it's going to have the video playing. Again, this is going to be auto playing, so it's not there, but I like having this problem statement right at the top, something that just kind of jabs them in the gut and goes, hey, you're not growing, you're not doing what you said you're going to do, you have these problems, you're not addressing them. So that's really what I want to do from there. What I want to do is take them to that point. Now, this is a video sales funnel that good. Glad you fixed it. Glad it's not my fault, James. I mess up plenty of stuff. I'm glad this wasn't one of them. And I do have to say before I move on, I've really enjoyed my last 2 days off, but I miss talking to you guys every day. So I'm glad to see you guys. Super happy that you guys are here. Got some amazing emails from some of you guys. You guys are just awesome. Very, very, very cool people. I love you. You're my favorites. And so I'm going to do everything I can to help you make millions of dollars. That's my promise. All right, so now we've got our video, we've got our logo, you got social media content, you got a title, you got a video that's going to start playing as soon as they get there. Now, this next section, again, this is a template that we downloaded, so a lot of this stuff we're not actually going to need. I'm not going to do anything with it. But what I like is I like the overall flow that we have here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a row. Let's add this one column here. So let me show you. So now I want you to kind of keep in mind that I want you to think like you're the visitor. That is the number one key that I always think of. Um, so it's going. You guys, man, you guys even had time apart. You come out swinging, being mean. Love it. So anyway, so the way that I always look at it is I think about like if I was watching a video, and I like to. I'm a bit on the neurospicy side, meaning like if something's happening, I usually have to have two or three things happening at the same time to keep my brain occupied. So like as I'm going through this. Um, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to look at it like I'm sitting here watching the video. So if I'm talking about, hey, look, this is going to show you how to fund your business. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to be narrowing them down from the video into my next call to action. Um, and so our next call to action is let's just stick with our theme. Let's find your funding. And let's make sure it's pulled. Yeah, that's close enough. Again, this is example purposes, so I'm not looking for perfection. All right, so from there, now I'm going to put a brief description of what's going to happen. So we're going to put schedule a free consultation and discover proven path that has helped thousands of entrepreneurs just like you reach their funding goals. All right, so let me break down on this content what I did a little bit, so that way, like as you get into writing your content and working through your strategy, you can implement some of these content writing tips. I don't always write everything from content. You can always, or from AI. You can always tell when I don't because I'm not as good of a writer as AI. Is what it is though. And people are like, oh, how do you know if it's good content if you can't write good content? Well, I can tell you this. I know when I've seen a good movie, but I can't make a good movie. And it's the same thing. Like if I read good content, I know it's good content. I can probably explain why it's good content. But if you ask me to come up with it, that's not always my strong suit. But that's where AI helps. So now, and again, we're keeping this real streamlined. This is gonna be real simple. We're not trying to take over the world with this video sales landing page, but we are trying to get consultations. So next, we're going to embed our calendar in here. We're going to come in here. We're just going to say template because that's the one that's available, and there's nothing set up in here because this is a demo. So now they're going to be watching the video. They're going to go, hey, let's find our funding. Oh, schedule. Oh, there's a scheduler right there, and it will help to click to move them along. Now, some of the strategies that you want to be thinking about is where is this page going to be used in your sales process? And this is one of the things, this is something that a lot of people miss. They're like, oh, I'm just going to put together this video sales landing page. But where are you going to use this? Meaning that if I'm using this as a reinforcement to my sales process. So basically, like if I'm using this for after the sales pitch, I want to try to convince them more. I want to reiterate, take them here, explain more value, build it out that way. Then at that point, I'm going to have a calendar in there that is specific for follow-ups because sometimes people love follow-ups. Now, they're going to want to talk to you afterwards because they still may have some questions. But the other thing that you want to do in here is make sure you have your chat widget up on it because they're going to talk to you like these are people that you're already texting with, you're already talking to, you're already emailing, you've met with. Now the other side of this is if I'm using this for traffic purposes, meaning that like I'm networking inside of a Facebook group, working through all that, Then at that point, this is probably going to be a little more towards like my funding planning session, where it's going to be just everything overall, or it's going to be just kind of open, ambiguous language. But they're going to watch the video, so when we meet in person, that I have that we can jump just directly into the objections and start overcoming those, opposed to having to having to go through there. This next section, I don't need this. Again, this is going to be real short. It's not a real in-depth page. I do want to have our testimonials on here because that's it. And then always have a footer at the bottom. It just looks clean and professional. I will tell you a secret. I do not trust a website that does not have a footer. It just me because I've been doing this for so long. If somebody's not paying enough attention to put a footer on their website, they're not going to pay attention to whatever I'm hiring them to do or paying them for. So always put a footer down there and make sure that's set up. Now, so this page is done-ish, close enough. So I'm going to save this one. Now, one of the other things that you can do is like if you look at this, you're like, this template's kind of bulky. And I agree. Like now that I'm scrolling through the page, I'm watching this, and I'm like, that does look a little intrusive. I'm going to show you how you can create a pop-up that will take them there. And again, guys, this isn't Ask Me Anything. So while I'm going through this, you have any questions about anything, anywhere, feel free to throw them in the chat. I will answer them as we go, or come back to it after we finish up with this step. So here's how you program pop-up. Yeah, we're going to go to button, and we're going to slap it right in here. I want to left align it because it looks cleaner that way. And then on the button, yeah, it is called a button. Letter spacing is normal. I'm fine with that. Text shadow. Does that help? Let's see if it pops words off. It looks pretty good. I like that. Font size. This can be up to your discretion, whatever makes sense for you. Headline font, I'm down with that. Okay, that looks good. And then let's just put schedule your free EE funding planning session. All right. So now one thing that I'm seeing, like while I'm typing this out, is that this button and this content just back right up to each other. Looks a little tacky, kind of cluttered over here. So I'm going to go up to my margin, and let's just start at 10. Nope, that's the wrong one. I'm under the section. So let's click on the button. And let's go to our margins and padding. So your margin is going to be the space between the element above it or below it, depending on, or to the left or right. Padding is going to be from the center of the element. So like, let me show you padding for the button. Like, let's say we just do something crazy. You put 100 in there. You see how it raises the top from the middle. So as you're designing and working through some of that stuff, it's just helpful to know where things fit inside of that. So we're going to put that there. I like that. Gives it plenty of space. Looks clean. Makes sense. So the next thing that I'm going to do is we need to program our button and figure out what are we going to tell it to do. So we're going to come down here, and it's already set to open pop-up. Now to program your pop-up, you're gonna come right up here to this little page looking setting. If you hover over it, it says pop-up settings, and it's going to pull your pop-up right there. If you hit the blue pop-up settings, that's going to control all of the overall pop-up. So like you could change your background color to whatever you'd like for that, make it look good there. Overlay actually impacts what it looks like behind the pop-up. So like you can see if we put that, it looks like that. Now it will put a solid color behind the background. So as you're adding colors, you may have to come in here and add a custom color. And then like you could use the color picker, which works out fine. So let's just grab a green. And then this slider over here on the right, this is your transparency settings. So this will tell you how transparent that color is with it. So we're going to call this the green example. That looks good. And we're just going to click add color. So You see how you could still see the background a little bit because of that transparency. But I'm going to go back to the black because that green is just bright on my eyes. All right, so that's a little bit of how that pop-up setting works. Now, the next thing is the builder is going to function almost exactly the same way inside of the pop-up as it does on a page. So again, we're going to have this. It's a pop-up is scheduling the appointment. So we're going to put calendar, slide it right there. Tell it what calendar you want, and there you go. Couple other things to look at in your pop-up settings is you can disable the pop-up if you want to make sure that they don't that it doesn't pop up with them unless they hit a button. But that's up to you. But this one, or you can also make it where it closes when they click outside. I like doing this. To me, it's just a courtesy. I can't stand when there are pop-ups that won't close, and it's obstructing my view. So we're gonna go medium. Now this last one is show pop-up on, and so this would be like if you put none, it means it's just not going to pop up unless buttons click. Exit means that while you're on the page, when someone tries to go off the page, let me just show you here. So what this means is like I can click this here and it pulls up the pop-up. Again, you can click off. When it's on the exit, it means when you scroll your mouse above, it's gonna do the pop-up. This is called an exit intent pop-up, meaning that if someone's trying to leave your page, that it pops up and says, "Hey, wait, don't leave. We got stuff for you." I like the exit intent. It makes a lot of sense for me for how I think people work. I've had the best luck with exit intent. The last thing to look at is how wide you want it. So like if you want it full page, you want to make it big, just right there in their face so they can't see anything else. That's what you would do. Now, all you have to do is hit save and publish. And now I don't have a domain tied to this. That's going to be our next step. Now your video sales landing page is done. The only other thing that I would think of is, so it looks like in this funnel that we are in these pages that we downloaded, that it actually has, it looks like it's actually got, like it's got a page for consultations. That's actually a really short, easy page, but we're not going to use that because we're just using the pop-up. But there is a thank you page. So like you do want to have a thank you page afterwards that's going to explain to them what just happened. Like, hey, you scheduled your funding. I don't know how I feel about having half-naked guys all over my websites here. But you can see right here say, hey, your request is received. Thank you. Just and then having this visit our website is a great way to get people to go back to your page. If they end up someplace and they feel stuck, they're just going to delete the page and they're not going to look around. Where having them go back to your website gives you the opportunity to maybe answer some of the questions, excuse me, that weren't addressed in the process. And then from here, if you want to do this, you're gonna you would come in here, you would put website URL, and then you would just put your website in there. And then you can have it open in a new tab if you want to. For this point, this is the last page anyway, so we'll just send them back to the home page and no harm, no foul. So now my little two-page video sales letter is done and looking good. So now I've got a video capture page that I can start using for people. Again, we're not using the book an appointment, so we're going to delete this page out. And the last part of this section. All right, let's talk about your settings, because this is where your functionality starts to take place. First off, before we get, we do have the chat widget enabled. Make sure your chat widget's enabled. If it's not, all you have to do is come over here to chat widget. You don't even have to do anything else. If you have a phone number set up, all you do is you click save and it will take it there. So let's go back down to our Tattoo Studio settings. So we're going to just call this video sales letter. I just got a message that said the app doesn't have a digital signature. That's an interesting question, James. I'm trying to integrate an app with my CRM. I got the message that said the app doesn't have a digital signature. Um, if you got a notification, it's not good. That's never a good sign. I'm not exactly sure what that would refer to. So that's something. If you want to message our Profit Lifter page, we can hop in there and see if we can take a look at that. Curious, what software are you trying to implement? And maybe I can help troubleshoot it that way. Okay, so let's make sure that we name it here. The next thing that we want to do is you want to be thinking about your domain structure or your hierarchy of where your how your domains all integrate and work together. So as with this one, we've already got Genie sites in here, which is awesome. But most of the time, if I'm going to use this for traffic purposes, so like let's say I want to use this for sharing on social media and being inside of a group and networking with people, and then that way I can go, oh yeah, here, watch this video, and then I know I'm going to collect leads off that. So with that, instead of having like a subdomain in front, I'm just going to make this for our original site, and then we're going to call this VSL. Let's just call it one. The other thing that I would do is, like, if you know this is specific for a specific product, or if this is going to be a really high use networking tool, just make it like VSL, or make it like if you're talking about funding, you would just call it /funding, or just something very memorable, very easy for people to get to if they need to. But for this purpose, we're just going to call it VSL1. Now, your favicon URL is one of the most annoying parts inside of the Go High Level platform, and not in a bad way, but it doesn't save it. Like, I've copied and pasted this thing in here 1,000 times, and it never seems to save it. But if you ever need your favicon URL, what we're going to do is we're going to right click over here. We're going to open a new window, and we're going to go into our settings here. And I'm going to show you where you can grab this out of the custom values. So we're going to go to custom values, and then from here, we're going to grab this one right here, brand logo square icon. This is basically your favicon. If you grab this custom value and you put it right there, it will auto load. It will auto load whatever you have tagged in here and put it as your favicon up top. If you don't have it in there, here's what that process looks like. You will come down to media. You will open media. From here, you're going to upload your favicon. So we're going to go upload file. I'm just going to grab one. I got this cute little one right here. Let's use that. And then we're going to grab get link, link DRA, post create contact list on LinkedIn. Try using lead connector. Think that. Oh, okay. So James, let me come back to that here in just a minute for you, because there's two ways to make that happen with that. So we'll come back to that here in just a minute. That's a great point. I can show you that here in just a minute. Okay, so now that we've got our favicon, we're going to right click, hit get link, and it's going to bring us back here, and we're just going to go right back up to right back down to our custom values. We're going to go to brand logo where we're doing this and edit custom value. From here, we're just going to paste that right inside the value. And now you will see that as we're on here, we're going to refresh this. Let's give it a minute to cycle through the world. I'm going to have to save it over here first. Yeah, it hadn't been saved yet. But now it's going to, now let's just save it and show you. Okay, that's fine. So now if we come over here, there it is. See our little favicon right there at the top. So if you ever missed your favicon, that's how you get it to show up there. I don't know why, but I love just having the favicons at the top of the website. I think it just looks great. It's clean, professional, just shows attention to details. All right, so let's hop back in our settings. So now you've got your primary domain. You've got it set up. So what this looks like is if I just go to GenieSites. Wait a minute, is it .co? It is .com. .com/BSL. It's going to take me right to this same page. So now it's working. We've got our favicon app there. It's all there. And last settings, if you're using let's say Facebook or Google, and you've got your pixels, when you create a new funnel, you want to make sure that any of your tracking codes get added here. There is no universal setting for tracking codes inside of the CRM. So this is something that you will manually have to add each time that you're creating a funnel. So just keep that in mind. That is something that you're going to use. So you have your head tracking codes and your body tracking codes. The other things down here, just for discussion topics, payment mode. If you're collecting payments and you want to test it out, you can put it in test mode, run things through and make sure that it's working. This is going to optimize your JavaScript. This is a process that's known as minification, meaning that it takes extra snippets of code that aren't used and condenses them down, and then delivers a snapshot of the entire website first, and then loads in behind it. It helps with your load side optimization, the loading optimization. Yes, Timberly. Yes, you would add both Facebook and Google to your headers there, and it does not matter which one goes first. Both of those can be added in any order. That's not particular. This last one over here is your GDPR compliant fonts. You can enable this, and this will force it to be GDPR compliant. This isn't a huge deal in the US, but this is a lot more important if you're overseas, like in the EU, anywhere like that. But that's really it. So now you would have your website. You've got your video sales page. Let me show you one more thing. I don't think we've ever covered this, so this is going to be a good discussion topic for us. So when you're sharing your page, there's going to be information that shares on the page. So let me show you. Let me give you an example. So if I come into like if I'm writing a post and I go, "Hey, join me at Profit." Let's see if I can spell it. ProfitLifter.com. Put HTTPS. Now, you see, by doing that, it pulls up an image, it pulls up content down here. It gives the viewers a snapshot of what they're signing up for or what they're clicking into to go into. This is all called metadata, and the metadata in your Profit Lifter sites can actually be found right here inside of the page builder itself, and it's under this page with the magnifying glass called SEO metadata. And the way that it works is really simple. You put your title. So we're just going to call this BSL example 1. And so what that looks like is like right here. You see, it's just Profit Lifter. This would on here. Well, let's just show you. So we're going to do BSL example 1. Description is going to be watch this video and buy my crap. So we can put that in there. So now it's going to have the title. We're going to have a little bit of content in there. Next, keywords. If there are specific keywords that you're focusing on, you can put that in there. Is it still possible to have that SEO speaker? Oh yeah, I'm working on it. It's my dad. We're working on it. We're definitely doing something with it because I'm working with him on putting together a package for you guys for local SEO. Author, if you want to put your name in here, you can put your name in here. But this is the one that I want to show you. Social image. Social image is this part right here, the actual picture that shows up when you share it. Of course it will. That'll be a big one. We'll do announcements and group posts and all that stuff. So with your social image, that's going to be what shows up right there. So I'm just going to grab the same image that we used before, just so we have that. So you've got your social image in there now, and that way it looks good. Meta tags. This has custom. This page has custom meta tags. That's fine. Now, this gets into the really technical, geeky side of SEO. This is where we're going to have the speaker come in and really start talking about this, getting into it, talking about how the canonical links work, what the custom meta tags means, all of that. Then the last one's going to be just what language the page is in, and this is just communicating with Google. This would be communicating with Facebook, all of those places. So now we have everything set up, and my God, this thing's just kind of a hodgepodge of ugly stuff all over the place, but that's all right. It's cute. I like it. All right, so from here, now we're going to close out this one. We're going to start another one. Maybe we're not. Let's start another. Let's try it again. Don't tell her. All right, let's try pasting this in there. You see that it doesn't actually pull anything in here. Now, this is really common if you start a page for the, or if it's a new page that you're installing, or anything like that. This is actually pretty common. What is this called? Hold on, I got to think about this. I'm gonna have to Google it real quick. Meta description debugger. Here it is, sharing debugger. And I'm going to share this. Let me share this in the chat for you guys. So that way, if you ever need this tool, you will have access to it. Let me share it in the group. I'll share it in the group once we're done here. Okay, so what this little tool on Facebook does is, like, if you change your metadata, or like you change the image on your page, you can actually stick this in here and click debug, and it's going to actually scrape the site for you. So it says inferred property, explicitly logo is minute. You can see it doesn't show any of the stuff that we put in there. We're gonna hit scrape again, and sometimes it can take a little bit for it to actually work. I usually find in internet world, it probably takes about 10 to 15 minutes once you have something built for it to just kind of get out into the rest of the world. But yeah, it may take you a little bit. But the beauty of it is, once it's done, it's done, and you don't have to do anything else with it. But you can see. I wonder what that's going to look like. Yeah, it's not going to do it for us yet. So that's no worries. Yeah, that's not going to work. Oh well. So we're gonna give it a little bit. We may come back and see if it decides it's going to play nice with us, or what's happening there. Yeah, I will just incessantly sit there and click on it. So all right, we're gonna call that one done for now. But if you ever need to debug what's going on, or what's showing up, like you change your SEO metadata, you change your image, with Facebook, they will always pull from their reserves first, or their database first. So if you change that, you do want to come in here, run the debugger, have it scrape it again, and find that data over again. Okay, so that's how you build like a video sales landing page. Like I said, I had that question yesterday. Just wanted to have the steps. Now, James has a question that he's been yapping about in here. So trying to integrate this an app with my CRM, and I got a message that said the app doesn't have a digital signature. Okay, James, a couple questions while I'm walking you through this. How are you trying to integrate it into Profit Lifter? Like, what steps are you trying to natively integrate it, or how does that work? So the app name is LinkDRA, and it's supposed to create a contact list on LinkedIn. I'm trying to integrate it with PL using Leads Locator. I think that I'll have to leave it alone. Okay, so the majority of apps that so the majority of apps that you guys are that integrate with directly with Go High Level, it's not a direct native integration. So what I mean by that is like if you come down here to integrations, you're going to see what are the native integrations. Like QuickBooks, deeply natively integrated. Facebook, Google, Clio, Stripe, Shopify, TikTok, LinkedIn, Slack. These are ones that are like deeply embedded, that will let you that will give you enhanced productivity. Now, the other side of this is that there are two other options outside of this. The first one is going to be called a webhook, and both of these are going to include Zapier or some software similar to Zapier. So let's see if it worked yet. I'm just curious. Oh, no, not yet. All right, so let's. I'm going to open up Zapier for you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what this looks like. So with Zapier, let me find my list here. All right, so this is my list of these are my list of Zaps that we have running, that we have going. What this looks like, it's actually a very simple. It's a very simple setup. So what you need to be thinking about first is where is the data coming from and where is it going to? So I'm going to assume that with what you said, Link DRA, that it's going to be coming from that system and you're trying to put it into the software. So if you do have that, let's see, let me see if I can spell this right. Link D, yeah. Okay, so it looks like Link DRA doesn't have that integration into it. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to set up two different webhooks. So the first one, and you don't have to know coding. Don't worry. This is actually a lot easier than it sounds. So this first one's going to be a trigger, and what that trigger is going to be is it's going to be catching everything from there, and then what we're going to do is we're not going to be able to. So what's going to happen is in Link DRA, you would need to be able to have a way that it sends that data to the webhook. What that looks like inside of Profit Lifter is this. So we have the webhook there. We're not going to be able to test it. So we're going to go to the next one, and we're going to go webhooks, and we're going to post from here. Now we're going to post. So we're going to catch the webhook from the first one, and then we're going to post it to the second one. So pretty straightforward, right? I mean, this makes sense. Catch webhook. So if you put that in there, that's going to be your webhook right there. Payload form data is a lot of this. If you don't, if this is unfamiliar, this gets kind of technical. But you can basically just do it like that. It's going to work out fine. So what we're going to do is let's hop back over here. I'm sorry, my brain just started thinking about the webhooks and trying to remember something with it. So we're going to create a workflow. DRA example. All right. So we're going to make this an inbound webhook. So right here, because you set this up as a trigger, you see that it gives you the URL. So webhook post URL has been copied. So now we're going to come back over here where it says URL, and this is exactly where you're going to paste that. It's right there under that URL. So now this is going to be a trigger. So like it's going to grab this information, then it's going to send it over here. And this webhook is doing just that. Now from there, you could say fetch sample. Because we're not able to run any tests, there's not much that we could do there. Mapping, no results found, check for new requests. But basically what you're doing now, you would need a new request. It gets a little tricky. James, I would be more than happy to talk with you and see if we can figure that out. I had to go to their website, integrate from Go High Level or Lead, and integrate from Go High Level or Lead Connector. Yeah, that sounds like a technical issue on their side then. Um, but now, if you guys ever need to use webhooks and connect softwares using webhooks, that's really the simple part of how you do it. Sorry, I couldn't go more in depth. I forgot that with the webhooks, we're going to have we actually have to have the data to be able to show how it works. But while we're on this topic, if you ever need to send data from Profit Lifter into a different platform, so like let's say you're using an accounting software that's a little bit that's outside of QuickBooks. You would set up whatever's going to trigger that event. So let's say they complete a form, and we're just going to say form is this one for whatever reason. And then you want to send that information to a separate software. You would just come in here, grab webhook, and then this is going to give you the method webhook post URL. And so this is going to post it. Now, with these webhooks, there's two sides. Somebody's got to catch, somebody's got to post, somebody's got to catch. Think of post like pitch. Somebody's pitching, someone's catching. So from here, what this is going to look like is now it's going to catch over here. And so because your trigger in Zapier is a catch, it's going to give you this, it's going to give you that webhook. So now we can come over here and just paste that. So very simple. It's actually pretty easy to integrate if you already have your webhooks, everything set up inside of there. The other option is that you do have the ability. We're going to discard that. I don't need it. You do have the ability while you're in Zapier that you can come in, and if it has a native Zapier integration, you can come in here and go set it up. So like we use Basecamp for like all of our project management things like that. So I can say, okay, if I'm in Basecamp and a new activity happens, and it's going to take that, and I'm going to choose my account project. It'll let me choose what projects it is, and then type, let's just say somebody marks off a to-do, and to-do list. Yeah. And events, activated, deleted, unarchived, trash. So let's say they completed. There we go. So now if they complete, I don't need that one. So if they completed to do in Basecamp, we're going to have to send a notification. I don't want to test the trigger because I'm not really doing it. Lead connector is how you connect your Profit Lifter CRM with Zapier. Sorry, my brain's shooting out here. And then from here, when you click on this, you're going to see it's going to give you a couple options. You can either add to a lead campaign, you can add a task, you can add or update a contact, add or update an opportunity, stop all campaigns for leads, or an API request. I've never used that one. I don't know what it does. But it gives you a little bit of options. It's not super robust on that side, but it's still it works okay. But you'll find that the webhooks are actually what you're going to use more through this process. If you want to use your account as a trigger, it really only has one trigger, which is very frustrating, but and very disappointing, honestly. But it's pipeline stage change, meaning that like if they move in your sales pipeline, then it would trigger an event based off that being moved. I'm not a fan of that. So a lot of times what I do is I do what I just showed you here with setting up the webhooks. So that way I can trigger a sequence using whatever, whether it's a form, a tag, an action, a page visit, or whatever it is. I'm able to grab that information and then send it to, like for us, a great example would be if something happens, like if they fill out a form that says, "Hey, I want to be a part of your growth plan." Then from there, we're able to come in and we would say, uh, so this we would have it send out a webhook down here. So we're going to come up here and we're going to say webhook, and then I'm going to connect it to the software. So let's say I'm sending it to Basecamp. Then I'm going to just set it up in Basecamp for right there. So that's kind of those are some views, some different ways that you can automate the CRM, connect all your different softwares, your different platforms to be able to make it work. Sorry, I couldn't be more specific with the link DRA. Like I said, it's very unfamiliar to me. I've never heard of it until just now. So hopefully this has helped. You guys didn't really have much questions for me for today, but that's okay. We're going to get aggressive in making sure that we're collecting your questions for next week so we can make this big and bad. And I will be live more next week and doing some trainings. We got some cool tools that we're rolling out for you. I've been tweaking our doing the final cleanup on the affiliate program, getting ready to push all those updates for you. So those of you guys who are trying to work to install your affiliate manager, working on having all that ready for you, having that all ready to go. And then one of the big things that's on my plate is I am working on implementing AI conversation bots into your CRMs as well. That way, like as leads are coming in and text messages start, instead of you having to manage them all, you can have the AI bot actually be a part of that conversation and work through that as well. So super excited about that. It's gonna help a lot of you guys who are doing more volume to capture people, get them engaged, and let you help save money on your workforce. Essentially, is what that's going to be. So, but that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you all have an amazing weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me, Timberly, James. You guys be nice to each other, especially days like today. We're all we have is just each other out here. No, just kidding. So, you guys have an amazing weekend. Appreciate you guys, and we will